The Stage Door Show, celebrating the independent artist. With your host, Dave Hondell.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Stage Door Show tonight. This is Dave Hondell, and I have Rotten Apple in the house. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Pretty good.
We got Tim, Gabriel, and Ben. So we're going to go around the room, and I want you guys to introduce yourself and let us know about the band. So, Tim, how about you? Start with you.
All right, Tim Trujillo. I play guitar and I sing a little bit, and yeah, pretty much it. I guess. Write a few of the songs.
All right, cool. Gabriel.
All right, I'm Gabriel Stoner Revelis. I'm the lead singer and the bassist.
Nice. Ben, how about you?
I'm Ben Osborne. I'm the drummer, and I write a little bit of every song to add my own thing. I've only written some full songs a couple times though.
Well, that's cool. You guys, so you all write, you all play instrument. That's cool. I like three guy bands. So that's cool. So I guess let's start out with with how you guys formed the band. Because I know you guys are out in Exeter, California, which is Southern California. We just spoke about that before we went on the air.
Central.
Yeah. So let's talk about how you guys got the band started.
Man, we talk about that a lot because we all went to high school together. So that's where we all know each other from. And we always think back because we know we always used to say, man, wouldn't it be so cool if we started a band? Because we all like the same music, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. And so we said, man, it'd be awesome if we started our own band. And just one day we just decided to do it. Just showed up at this guy's house and started jamming.
Now, did you guys play instruments? Did you guys play instruments before? Obviously you did, but how did you guys know of each other's playing, whatever instrument you played? So you guys knew that you were already at that point?
Yeah, I mean, we knew each other musically because we've all played saxophone in the same sections whenever we were in school.
Okay.
And then we kind of just talked about it for a little bit. Me and Tim played a little guitar here and there. Tim played a lot more than I did. And then my dad's a drummer, and so he kind of got me into it, and I really got started drumming when the band started. But then whenever we decided that we wanted to play a show, we told Gabe, we were like, hey, man, you want to sing? He was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And so for our first show, there was actually 5 of us, and Tim was playing bass, and then we had 2 guitar players with us.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Too many guys in the band?
Yeah, they were both. Yeah, one of
them.
them's a phenomenal jazz player. He got a full ride to UCLA whenever he graduated, and he's playing with big names down there in LA. So it's pretty cool. But whenever they had to leave, we were like, we got to figure this out now. So Tim moved over to guitar, and we got him to start playing bass for his first time ever.
Yeah.
Nice. So when you guys in the process of writing music, I mean, do you guys do more than covers? I mean, do you guys do covers and your own music as well, or is it kind of a mix, or do you guys write most of your own music?
So I think we started out with covers, but from I know day one we just started trying to write our own stuff, which I thought was pretty special,
Yeah, for sure.
Since we were all kind of new to playing in a band, and then we could jam we were jamming pretty tight at the time, just us 3. So I was like, yeah, and that's how we started, writing our first album.
Felt good.
Your first album. How many albums do you guys have?
Just one.
Yeah, we have one, but we're in the works for the second one right now.
That's great. So, talk about writing music together. I mean, because a lot of times you look at even big bands like the Eagles, for they're kind of known historically for kind of disagreeing on a lot of things when they write music, So how about your guys' process? Do you guys ever butt heads when you write music, or do you just kind of have a process where you all kind of do your own, maybe you write a song, maybe somebody else writes a song and so forth? How does that work?
Yeah, we butt heads sometimes, but usually we agree. Usually how a song starts is someone brings hey, I wrote some lyrics, and then we'll all look at the lyrics, or hey, I wrote a riff, and then we all just kind of build around that central idea that someone brings in. Hey, man, I've been writing this song. We should work on it. And then everybody just kind of throws in their own little parts of it.
So yeah, I mean, you guys look fairly young. You guys have kind of old souls when it comes to the music. influences, you're talking about Soundgarden and Nirvana. That's like my era, and I'm 52. So, well, I mean,
Yeah.
that music never dies. Obviously, it's great music, but you know, what kind of got you into that kind of music? I mean, have you always been interested in that style of music? Is that kind of how you guys formed? That you guys all like the same music?
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the main reasons is
Yeah.
that we realized we liked all those 90s bands, and
Yeah,
not a lot of people like the 90s rock bands,
yeah.
especially in our age group.
What's your favorite, I guess, genre of music? 'Cause, you know, we talk about punk rock, grunge, and all that, but what is your favorite style that you guys kind of mesh the best at?
I mean, we gotta say grunge, right?
I just say, I mean, our music is pretty like diverse in a way, you know, because we have so many different influences from like we'll mix like Rage Against the Machine, Alice in Chains, like all kinds of like different stuff, you know, like from our own, you know, like what we listen to on the daily, and then it turns into like our own sound. It kind of combines that, like, you know, garage band, punk, and, you know, indie, alternative, whatever, you know.
You guys
Just-
play parties? I mean, obviously with COVID, it's not possible, but you guys like play parties,
we started
house
to.
parties and things like that?
Yeah.
Are you going?
Yeah, I mean, we played this New Year's party. I think it was our first big party that we played.
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
Well, actually, we did one before that, but our first big house party was a New Year's party that we had, and it went pretty smoothly. But we had to get shut down by the freaking cops because someone decided to call a noise complaint on New Year's Eve of all nights. So, but it was a pretty cool experience.
While playing Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine. At that.
Hey, you know what though? That's a badge of honor, man. You get shut down by the police.
Yeah.
That means you're doing your job, right?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I went to I don't know, Godsmack concert one time, and Hell Yeah was opening for him, and you know, I love hard rock and I love metal, and but you know, in my 50s, you know, I go to shows like that, I'm like, man, I'm way out of my league. I'm way out of my league. It's not, I'm not in high school anymore. But no, I love that music too. I'm still a big fan of that music in the 90s, and you know, I think what is it? Kurt Cobain. When you know, I was a big fan of Kurt Cobain, and then Courtney Love was filming a movie like a block away from my house one time. So I used to hang out on the set and talk to Courtney Love, and so that was kind of a cool experience. That was back in that era as well. So I'm a huge music fan. So I really appreciate the kind of music you guys play. You know, getting out of this COVID, I think once we're out of this, I mean, what are you guys' plans for the future? I mean, are you going to start trying to play shows, or you try to do more parties, or I mean, what is your plan for the future? More recording or what?
Well, we definitely have a lot of local places that we try to play at, because they invite us all the time, and we just love playing live. Playing live is like the biggest thing for us. But right now that it feels like with the COVID, it's easier to record music, which is what we're kind of focusing on right now that we can't play live.
How do you guys record? You guys record in the house, or where do you record?
We have a studio that we go to. It's a local run studio by a guy who I knew from church way back, and I was talking to someone, and they were like, yeah, he owns a studio. That's what he does for a living. And it's like, all right, sweet, we'll check it out. And we went in there, man, and it's the nicest studio ever, dude. It's amazing in there. So we just every time we want to record and put something out as a band, we go there.
I mean, there's nothing better. You know, we talk a lot about home recording studios, and a lot of people now do it at home. But there's nothing like walking into that studio setting, right? I mean, you get this kind of that mindset of recording, and I don't think there's anything better than to walk into a studio. So Gabriel, you know, as a lead singer, you know, talk about being that front man. I mean, do you get a lot of attention being a front man like that at these shows, these parties?
Well, I don't think we've reached the level of there'll be sometimes I'll be at like the local grocery store, and they'll say, hey, aren't you in a band? And that's the most of. But even that, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, you got like
it took me a while to get into that frontman mindset.
Yeah, but you got Rush out there. I mean, there's a lot of 3-man bands that have really made it big, and you know, I don't think you need a lot of members. I mean, if you have a tight knit sound the way it is with three members, I think that's all you need. You know, so I mean, like I said, I appreciate what you guys can do with 3 guys. So that's awesome. you know. And the other thing is, I mean, when you play it, like when you play live, I mean, do you guys kind of do everything yourself? Because, you know, we have a lot of indie artists that watch our show, and, you know, so we talk about the process of being an indie artist, and you don't really have a crew, you don't have a big, you know, you don't have roadies, you don't have this, you don't have that. So do you guys do everything yourself, or do you have friends that help you? I mean, how do you guys do that when you guys play?
I think we're lucky if we get a couple roadies to
Yeah,
help
like
us out.
usually we have like a couple like friends of ours that like tag along and they like help with the drums and set up, and then like some of like our friends that come to our shows, like they'll help us take down stuff. So it's kind of cool.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember.
But as far as it goes, you know, I mean, it's all pretty much ourselves. I just got my couple pedals, and then yeah, sound guys if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, I mean, talk about when you first started like playing. I know you said in high school you guys all played saxophone and all that, but when did you start like really getting interested in wanting to be part of like a rock band? You know,
Oh.
like when did that start? When you were really young, or just recently, or what?
I'd have to say like around like middle school, like late middle school, like early high school, like because I just started getting into like teaching myself how to play guitar and all that, and that like that's all I, you know, do as you know, like you know whenever you know like going to that age, you know, or
Yeah,
at least for me that was like my comfort zone, and I was like seeing these bands that like I you know connected to, I was like, yeah, that would be like super cool, and then like having like an opportunity to play like with two of my best friends, I was like, yeah, so I'll stick with it. And it's been a lot of fun.
that's awesome. And how about you, Ben? I mean, playing the drums. You said your dad played. Is that kind of where you got the interest in playing drums, or is it something that you kind of wanted to do on your own, or did your dad influence that at all?
Well, when I was younger, because he's around here, he's pretty well known for his drumming and everything. He's been in a lot of bands around here, and so I've been around the scene of playing and around him a lot whenever he would practice. And when I was really young, he always taught me a beat here and there. And so every time someone was like, "You play any instrument?" Like, "Yeah, I can play the drums." And I'll sit down, and I'll just play the same beat the entire time. and like, "Yeah, I can play." And they're like, "No, you can't." Like, you know one beat, the most standard rock beat there ever was. But whenever I actually wanted to start playing music, I started off playing guitar. I took guitar lessons, and then I switched to piano, and then I switched to bass guitar. Like I just worked everywhere around except for the drums. And so I just kept practicing all of those, but then we actually decided to you know do a band. And so I kind of, after just watching my dad for so long and just kind of having it in my blood, whenever we sat down for the first time, I was able to pull some stuff out that I didn't think I would do, and I was like, this is what I'm going to stick with. This is nice.
That's awesome. Gabriel, I mean, when did you start getting the urge to sing? I mean, to be a lead singer? Because I know playing an instrument and singing at the same time is not easy to do. I think a lot of people take that for granted when they see it on TV. They see somebody playing guitar and singing. That's very difficult, right? I mean, it's very difficult to do both.
Yeah, we joke about it sometimes because when we cover Nirvana, we're like, oh my gosh, how does he sing and play this at the same time? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, at a young age, my parents, there was always music going on, so that I credit them for my taste in music, because it was always 90s rock, 90s hip hop, and all that. But I don't know if you're familiar with the old game Rock Band.
Oh yeah, I've had
it. That's where it all started.
Oh really?
My family, we would come over every Friday night, and my Tia Liza would be on the drums, my dad and mom would be on guitar, and I'd be singing, probably terribly. I don't remember too much, but we'd all do the whole band and play Rock Band all night. And I know that's where that came from.
Let's talk about some of your music. Talk about some of your songs, guys, that you have that people can listen to, or that you're about to release. Talk about some of your music that we can get excited about.
Well, the first album, a lot of the music all kind of has almost a similar feel, because we were just pulling our straight up, these are our influences, and that's what we're coming off of. You know, bands like Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Soundgarden, not so much Pearl Jam, but like most of the grunge bands. And so that's what most of the first album resembles, like a couple songs like Fire in the Woods and Hate to.
I think that one different.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
like-
it has a lot of different feels to
That's
it.
like probably our first song that sounds like our band.
Yeah.
Fire in
The-
the Woods.
And then there's another one, Hate to Love, which is a really strong grunge feel. You can tell where we get our influences. But this new album, every song's different. Like the one song we have released from it is called Diseased, and it was an influence of
I know.
an influence of Limp Bizkit. And so it was a completely different from anything we did on our first album, and it's gotten the most hits.
You like the doctor in over your head, grinning me. The walls are hiding under your bed and said, laughter lies in my face. Yet the biggest lie was when you tricked this whole fucking place. You left me imprisoned in my own dark mind, taking every smile that was supposed to be mine. You're fine, I will roll over and die. I saw the fear of your creation of fire. Distant and disease. You can't kill me, no. You can't kill me, no. Disgusted and disease. You can't kill me, no. You can't kill me, no. Disgusted and disease.
So we know that we were doing something right there, and then the rest of the album all comes from different areas too. We have songs that sound like Green Day to more songs like Nirvana to a song that sounds like it came from Neil Young. Yeah, and Weezer. Yeah.
What
This next album.
what kind of songs do you? I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt, but what kind of songs do you like playing the most? I mean, did you have? I guess when you see it on the song list, you get excited about playing. I mean, what kind of music, what kind of vibe would you guys like to kind of play the most?
I mean, I know for sure Fire in the Woods is always like, whenever it's usually our warm-up song when we practice, and it's usually one of the openers. Fire in the Woods there's just something about it. It was our first like song that made us proud. Like, we're proud of that.
Let me have another taste. There's only me to blame. I can stop anytime. She is such a fool to take me. Fire in the wood, you say. Extinguish all the goods you may. Take me home through the flame. Bury me in ash and shame. Fire in the wood, you say. Extinguish all the goods you may. Take me home through the flame. Bury me in ash and shame.
And every time we play it, I'm like, oh yeah, Fire in the Woods. Here we go.
Yeah, we heard it like it was on the radio.
Yeah.
And, like our local radio, which is kind of cool. And then like we had like a bunch of like people around our school like, yo, your song is cool. So
Oh,
that
so
was,
they played your song on the radio, local radio.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, our local radio station, they're really cool. They do every Sunday night they do a homegrown, so it's all local bands.
Nice.
And yeah, they play us a lot actually. It's pretty cool. We got lucky.
Well, that's that's pretty rare. I mean, that's nice that you guys have something like that, because a lot of artists don't have that opportunity, I guess, to have their music on like a local radio station. So but talk about marketing yourselves. What do you guys do? I mean, not just locally, but through the internet, through social media, to market yourselves and get yourselves out there so that people outside of the California market will know about you. So what do you do to kind of market yourself?
Merchandise for sure, but before the band, it's crazy how much social media has an impact on like today's climate. Because before this band, I didn't have an Instagram, I didn't have a Snapchat, I didn't have any social media, and ever since like I started getting into guys like Damian Keys or Adam Ivy, who are really good people to listen to for underground and indie bands, because they do YouTube videos to help underground bands promote themselves and market themselves. And it's just crazy how much posting on social media and just building an audience and building connections on social media alone with people. Just, I think we went from 200 to 700 followers in like 4 months, just from talking to people, just from putting yourself out there.
Mhm.
Social media is a game changer right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, and before I want to get back to Tim, because I know Tim, you had a thought about your second album, and I cut you off. So why don't you finish that thought?
Oh yeah, because you just brought up like there's a song on the line, or like our playlist, you know, of our new song, our new album, I guess. And like every time I think that's like our new pump up song. Like, yeah, I should even say it. It's called "The Shame." Like,
Okay.
it's just like super heavy and like super raw, and like it just like has a super heavy sound that I think will be like, you know, like something people can scream to or like go crazy to, and like it's just like something that will. It's probably gonna be the first song on the album that will be like, man, these guys have really improved from their last album, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, that to always watch your the way you can progress, I guess, through your career
Yeah.
from one album to the next. And I think any artist, no matter what they do, whether it's an actor, whether it's somebody who edits, you know, films or whatever, I mean, you always get better every time you do something. So do you guys do music videos? I mean, do you guys have music videos that you're thinking about doing or that you've already done?
We really want to like
Yeah.
do music videos. We just procrastinate too much.
We
Yeah.
need to.
But
Yeah,
we
we
did take some cool pictures.
yeah.
That's true.
We've had someone I know does professional photography as their side job, and so we got pictures done, and then she recently told me that she has all the stuff to do music videos too. So we have the opportunity. We're just waiting to take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough right now with COVID, but you know, I think that's a great opportunity to get yourselves out there so they can actually see you performing, even if it's a concept video, which I think is even better because I think people love concept videos. And you know, when I was in the industry for many years, and I think that it helps market your song or your music. It really it kind of speaks to who you guys are as a band and as a group, and I think you really attract a lot of people by doing that. So it's a good idea to do one. You know, the other thing I want to say, you know, collaboration, you know, we always talk about collaboration on our show as well. And have you guys ever wanted to collaborate with somebody? And if you did, who would that be? And who would you want to open for, I guess, if you guys were going to do a big tour with somebody, who would you open for?
Oh man,
Oh,
Hard
man,
question.
that one.
That's the hardest question.
Well, I mean, on the topic of collab, we are doing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
that's
mean,
true,
we are actually doing a collab right now, but like if we're talking, you know, big bands here, I gotta say, personally, I think it'd be awesome to tour with Korn.
that'd be cool.
That would be like sick because I've seen them a couple times and they just put on a freaking awesome show, man. And they always have good bands opening for them. So like if we were able to open for them, I'd know we've done good.
I've got to say James on that one.
Alice in Chains.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We went to their concert earlier. Was it early this year?
It was last year.
Was it last year? It was last year. Oh man, that was the greatest concert I've ever been to. They put on a show.
Amazing.
It was awesome.
I love Korn too. I mean, Korn is has always been one of my favorite bands. So yeah, definitely, I concur on that one. You know, I guess I was telling you before when I went to Godsmack. Did you ever see? I don't know, Ben. Did you ever see the drum battle of the drums, the drummer battle on Godsmack? If you
I don't think I've seen that one, but I've seen a few of them.
pull up
Different one.
drummer battle and Godsmack, it's and on YouTube. It'll be amazing. It's so unbelievable. But
I'll
you
pull
know,
it up and watch it later.
yeah, definitely getting to, like I said, you know, the future, because obviously you guys are kind of a newer band, but you know, down the road, like maybe 20 years down the road, when you guys had success and you played big arenas, and what kind of message do you guys want your fans to have? Because I mean, typically like bands kind of get their followers follow them throughout their career. So what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want your fans to remember about you when you're retired and no longer in the business?
That's a good one.
I would just say that like I'd want to have like be one of the bands that were like that, you know, shared the same emotions that everyday people, you know, go through, the same feelings, you know, and try to like have like be like a place that people can like go to cope with their problems, or you know, have like party to, I guess, or you know, like a band that's like a people's band, I guess, you know.
something you can listen to on any occasion.
Yeah. And I think too many times too, you go on the radio and everything's like, oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so rich. And not everybody feels that way. Not everybody has that same.
And then especially now, like that luxury and, you know, trendy scene, you know, like it's too big. Like it's kind of overrated, you know, because most people, you know, like they have to work for what, you know, what they want, you know, not everybody can just go buy a new Tesla every day, you know.
That's right.
I think people should try to appreciate what they have, you know, like live bands and like, you know, seeing, you know, that's what COVID kind of showed, you know, like that's what we need is, you know, each other more than anything.
I was just going to say that because right now with COVID, there's so many people out of work. There's so many people that really had nothing to begin with, and now they really have nothing. Now they're left without anything. Food lines are like miles long and hours long, and you know, people don't know how they're going to feed their family or they're going to have a house next month. You know, so those are things that, you know, you're absolutely right. You know, even people that had money at one point sometimes don't right now. So I think that this is a great time to put out that kind of music. I mean, the music that people can relate to, and it sounds like that's what you guys do. So, I mean, like I said, kudos to that. You know, and I'm glad you guys reached out to me too, because, you know, a lot of times, you know, there's all kinds of bands that, you know, contact me, want to be on the show. But I'm a one-man show myself. You know, I'm an indie artist myself. You know, so I don't have a team of people. It's just me. So I have to do all my social media myself, and you know, my interviews, my editing, everything is, and plus my day job. So, so no, I appreciate you guys reaching out, because it's really the people that are passionate like that kind of get me to want to put you on my show and kind of show the other indie artists that this is how it's done. You know, so this is an important thing that you guys are on. And, you know, we talked about the marketing piece of it, but also talk about the fans, you know, like the importance of having those passionate fans and kind of reaching out and connecting with them on social media. So is that something that you guys do? You reach out to your fans and people that follow you and listen to you, and how important is that?
Oh yeah, fans, they're the biggest part, man. Like we play the music obviously, but none of it would mean anything if it wasn't for the fans. We have to put ourselves out there and it's like we're trying to make them listen, because we need them to listen. And I don't think because we need them to. I mean, I don't think a lot of, I don't think a lot of people realize how important they are to a band, even if they're just listening to them. Like our self-esteem and passion to write and make more music totally boosted once we started getting more streams of our music, or more people participating in what we do on Instagram, because we do challenges and all that stuff just to keep them interested. And the more they focus and pay attention to it, it helps us more with doing what we do.
And a lot of
And
a lot of times underground and indie bands kind of take their fan base for granted. Like a lot of it on social media is, hey, download this link. Hey, pre-save my song. Hey, listen to my song. And you know that turns off a lot of people. You really have to appreciate every single person that listens to you and talks to you, reaches out to you.
You know, and to that end, somebody that I've known for a lot of years, Joel Hoekstra, who's a guitarist for Whitesnake, and he's Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Whitesnake, Cher, Night Ranger. He was with Night Ranger and Foreigner. So he's been with a lot of different people, but you know, he says the same thing, and he will. I think he said 250 texts a day that he texts back every fan that messages him. Every single day. He always gets back. He doesn't write a full paragraph, but he wants them to know that he cares about them and that he appreciates them reaching out. So, and he has that personal touch, but he has a huge fan base because of his connection with his fans. So I think that's very important. It's one of the most important things you can do is connect with your fans and let them know that they are important, and that, you know, like, thank you for listening. We really do appreciate it, because this is what we're doing this for, is for you, you know, that type of thing. So that back and forth is always so important to make sure that that's done. Well, guys, how can they find you? I mean, how can they find you on social media, internet? I mean, how can our listeners go and find you guys?
Well, our main social media is definitely Instagram, but we do have Twitter and a Facebook as well. It's just Rotten Apple Band on Instagram. And our main focus for the music is definitely Spotify, but we're on everything from iTunes, Amazon Music, Deezer, pretty much all of them. But
YouTube,
yeah, YouTube, Apple Music for sure.
Okay, good. Well, we can't thank you enough for being on our show, guys. I mean, you guys are wonderful, and you know, I really again appreciate you guys reaching out to us here, because we try to, you know, that our whole thing is celebrating indie artists, and we do anything we can to give you guys a platform. So you're always welcome back on our show anytime. If you guys have new music coming out or a new album, or you guys have a performance coming up, reach out to us, and we'll have you guys on the show again anytime.
Thank you.
You guys are always welcome on here, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you again for this opportunity. This is awesome.
Absolutely, and best of luck to you guys. All right.
You too. Thank you.